So, from what I saw, yeah, they only have the demo for this one. It's not out yet. So, you have like the first one, and then this second one is still to be announced, apparently. And it's a for fuck's sake second lead syndrome. And he's dressed in a very strange way in here. What's going on? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea of what's going to happen here. And is it too much loud for you? It's probably like the thing with we have text speed in here instead of the music. They did not even put the music in here. Oh, maybe on the other it was the text speed too. Could it have been? But it said music. Maybe it was some kind of a typo or something. I don't know. So this one, I don't think it's available on the Steam page. It's only available on their itch.io's page. And this one says that it's safe for work, so I don't know if it's going to have the same major audience as the other one had. There's only one goal here: don't let the novel's god send you back to your old life. So this is an alternate universe to the For Fuck's Sake, another Northern Duke, with Roy as the main love interest. While prior knowledge of the first game is not necessary, it is recommended. Yeah, I just don't want it to spoil it too much. So, Hypnosis, right after you finish reading The Beastly Duke of the North, you find yourself transported into the novel's world, not as the main character or even the villainess, but as the barely mentioned runaway bride-to-be number 3. All in all, it's a dream come true, lounging around all day, and a hefty monthly allowance. Here you come. Only that the novel's god seems determined to send you back to your old life. Not a chance. Screw the MC, you were here first. Okay, I have no idea how this is going to end up. Okay, let's try it. So apparently we are not going with the same protagonist either. So let's go. I think so. So it's the same thing with the other one. You have like the content warning. Okay. And the disclaimer, which we already saw on the other one. Did you play? Yes, will unlock non-plot related references in the game. Let's put as no, because what we did was only the demo. And if there are like spoilers, and I know, like, I am totally, let me tell you something. From what I've noticed, lots of people hate to be spoiled. I am not one of those. Not. But I think most people hate to be spoiled. And that's why I'm like, let's go the safe way. I have like no issues with that, but I think most people do have. And that's why I'm like, let's try to go the safe way. So, okay, yeah, we are kind of different. Look, the books she's holding. Kind of funny. Maybe something different from what we had the other time. Yeah, kind of like this. I don't know. She was a blonde on the other one, so why not? Oh, you can't even go more. Yeah, that's cool. much flashy for me, at least for me. This one is cool, but I think I'm going literally like this. I don't know why. So barely a week after New Year's Eve, and you can already mark all your resolutions as failed. The wage hike you expected didn't come. Instead, you and all your coworkers got the boot. Something about cost reduction your ass. Then what about the new hobbies you wanted to try? You'll certainly have plenty of time for those, only not ready. Not really. Not really. With the recent rent increase, you might need not one new gig, but two, if you don't want to end up sleeping in your car. The kicker though, you don't even own a car. That's kind of like my life. But at least you can always count on your friends, right? Right? I mean, they also have their own issues and problems and probably do not have enough money for themselves either. Wrong. Meeting with them tonight for a quick drink only reminded you that you don't even like them and that the sentiment is mutual. So, as your last hooray, you decided to stand up for yourself, tell them the truth, and dip first. It felt good for about 10 minutes until you found yourself stranded at the bus stop near midnight, alone and freezing. The sudden onslaught of snow that is actively paralyzing the streets makes it impossible for you to catch a ride. To make things worse, given the late hour, all the nearby coffee shops and restaurants are, if not already closed, then actively closing. And so, you, freezing in your too thin for comfort clothes, have no other choice than to cross half of the city on foot on ice. No, scratch that. Since an unexpected blizzard plus late hour equals an inevitable traffic jam, it seems you, along with other passerby, are about to get stuck at the pedestrian crossing for the foreseeable future. Just my fucking luck. Along with the wall of snow, a gust of freezing wind tears through the crowd, slashing against your cheeks and hair. Sorry. Difficult today. A thick strand dislodges itself from your updo, slapping you directly in the mouth. Before you can start cussing up a storm, you take a deep breath and try to think positively. All right, think of your health. You're much too young to work yourself into a stroke. As you struggle to get your hair under control, you fervently plan your next hairdresser appointment. New year, new you, as they say. Maybe an appearance change is what you need to transform your life with a bang. Then again, it might be cheaper to just cut your hair by yourself at home. Thinking about finances sours your already low mood. You need a distraction and you need it fast. With nothing else to do but wait, you decide to get back to the novel you've been reading for the majority of your meeting. It's terribly cliché, but it beats sitting in silence trying to get two words edgewise between your friends' chatter. Where was I? Chapter 7, let's see. With the untimely death of his second bride-to-be, the already unsavory reputation of the young Duke of the North grew strained beyond fixing. But just as with the first fiancée, he didn't wait long before sending a third, this time settling for the eldest daughter of a baron rumored to have been engaged in an illicit affair with a common merchant. To make sure that the new fiancé arrives safely, the queen sends her loyal aide, Roy, to escort the girl. Lucinda, though glad that she wouldn't have to share the crown's prince attention with the aide, found herself sat to see Roy go. They spoke twice since she started working for the Crown Prince as a maid, and now she's sad to see Roy go. Yeah, right. More like, with all her other suitors gone, there's no one else she can use to make the Crown Prince jealous. Okay, what's next? Ah, the masquerade ball. The Crown Prince duels his rivals for the main character's hand, blah blah blah. He wins, but oh no, the queen is against it. 20 more pages of such bullshit until Roy returns, and the Crown Prince gets jealous when he catches him speaking with the main character. Give me a break. Last page, here we go. With the queen's machinations exposed, the king ordered her swift execution, after which Lucinda and the Crown Prince tied the knot. As for the queen's supporters, they too were banished, never to be heard from again. Shortly after, the news of Roy's untimely death reached the palace. He had perished slightly before the queen, along with the Villainess. With the Villainess sentenced to prison for treason, her engagement with the Duke was annulled. Wait, what? What happened on the second bride then? How come the Villainess was marrying the Duke? When did that happen? The end. That's it? Chapter 7 ends on a cliffhanger and they kill off all the extras off screen in the epilogue? You've got to be kidding me. I know Duke was only a background character, but giving us only 2 sentences mentioning his engagement with the banished Villainess is an unfunny joke. Not to mention the fact that she was a way more interesting character than the doormat MC. But who cares, right? She got her happy ever after with the prince and everyone else can go hang. Even Roy. I can't believe they killed my Pokey off. I'm so leaving a 1-star review for this garbage as soon as I get back home. Which might actually happen faster than you anticipated. The traffic jam is being rapidly resolved, and it seems that as soon as the light changes, you'll be able to cross. Fucking finally. Huh? That guy looks kind of familiar. And he's reading the same book too. Across the street from you, apparently also waiting for the lights to change, stands a guy whose face strikes you as familiar. He's around your age, so maybe he's a former classmate or co-worker. The strands of his bleached hair sticking out of a beanie look more orange than yellow under the light of the festive lights that nobody bothered to clean up yet. His dark brows bend into a frown as he scans the pages of the book he's holding, the same novel that you just finished. What a coincidence. Hearing the light change above your head, you take your eyes off the man and turn them back to the street ahead. The passerby starts to cross, and so do you, walking at a brisk pace until someone's arm bumps into yours. Hey, watch where you're... You take a quick step to the side, but instead of avoiding the stranger, you bump into each other. Startled, the man grabs you by the shoulders, but instead of steadying you, he drags you down with him as he promptly loses his footing. Oh shit. Oh shit indeed. Flailing around, you squeeze your eyes shut, bracing for impact that just never came. Instead, a sensation of floating overcomes you, not quite falling, not rising either. Your body simply moves as if you're gliding down a stream or a tunnel. It lasts only a couple of seconds. The darkness melts into flashes and swirls of colorful lights. Then, before your sight returns in full, you feel something soft cushioning your fall. When the blurry overcast fades from your vision, you find yourself in a moving vehicle. The confining structure creaks and moans, and you're bounced with every roll of the wheels, sliding on the softness of the plush upholstery. As a powerful tremor wrecks the frame, you have to catch yourself on the curtain so as to not slide to the ground. Not that there would be any space for you though, seeing as various packages and parcels fill the cramped space up nearly to the ceiling. The seat in front of you in particular is completely loaded, and there's just enough space left between the mountain of boxes and the door for you to recline your feet. Your stocking-wrapped, gown-covered feet. What the fuck? A quick glance past the curtain window informs you that you're not in an ordinary vehicle as you had first assumed, but a carriage of all things. When you stick your cheek to the glass, you can glimpse a pair of black horses strutting ahead, led by an old-fashioned coachman dressed in a riding suit. But that's not the weirdest thing you can see. The streets outside are a sight you recognize only from periods movies or photos. White stone, verdure, and not even a single billboard in sight. The face you glimpse in the reflection is undeniably yours, only that instead of your casual clothes, you are wrapped up in a gown. Around your wrist, you find a fan attached via a lace string. Befuddled, you give your skin a good hard pinch, and the resulting pain ensures you that you're not dreaming. No way. So this is like that first one, remember, like with the other one, where it kind of going to lock us into certain choices that we have. I'm either dead or in a coma, aren't I? Yay, Mom said it's my turn to isekai. I would probably be more kind of like this, I don't know. That's effing morbid, but you might be right. Right, that would explain the scenery and me conversing with a talking chicken. At first you almost mistaken him for a stuffed animal, but the comically small compared to the round body wings flap far too wildly for a toy. Not to mention the beak that opens and closes in sync with the words that leave it. A chicken, what are you? No, what happened to my sexy body? Finally noticing his state, the not chicken screams, wings flattening against his head. I did not work out every day just to turn into this. Get a load of this guy, the way he's whining, one would think was a model. You're about to say as much when you're jostled once more, only this time you notice that the carriage is slowing to an halt right where the bridge ends and a large guarded gate begins. The coachman converses with the guards, knights, stationed there in a hushed, barely audible tone. Something about clearances and wedding, but you can't hear much of anything over the bird's incessant bemoaning. You can see, though barely, as a thick booklet exchanges hands from the coachman to one of the armored knights, then back again. When the former nods, you assume it means all clear, and it must be so because a second later the gate opens with an ear-splitting groan. Before the carriage can take off, however, a pleasant to the ear but audible imperious voice cuts through both the chain's grounds and the bird's yapping. Halt the carriage on Her Majesty's orders. A whoosh of motion right behind the window causes you to look up and through it just as a grey-maned horse is brought to a halt. On it, printed in a black vest and a matching cape, sits a man. The fierce lashing wind tussles the heavy fabric of his hood and his red, loose hair. Your gaze meet just for a second before he turns his head to address the coachman. You there, your services won't be needed anymore. At the tilt of his hand, another rider comes into view. He dismounts his steed, passes the reins to his page, then walks over to take the confused coachman's place. What? But sir, I assure you that I have all the necessary clearances. I know, I'll handle it from here. Sir, you don't understand. We are escorting Lady... Huh? What did he say? He said your name, didn't he? You clearly heard him say. So, we can choose a name, or we can keep the default one. Sorry. I know who you're escorting. I'm Roy Van Varley. Now, shut your mouth and let me in. Roy, huh? What a coincidence. That name, and he even looks exactly as you imagine your dad Pokey in that trash of a novel, down to his piercing blue-gray eyes and that pompous expression. He even wrinkles his nose when he's disgruntled, the same way it was described in the story. His expression clears ever so slightly when the coachman hurries to follow the order, letting one of Roy's men replace him before scurrying away. Shit, and who is that guy? You don't notice the silence that fell in the carriage until it's broken again. The bird perches on your shoulder so that he too can glimpse the stranger. And who are you? And who are you? Before either of you can answer, the door is yanked open and Roy helps himself into the carriage. Good afternoon to you too, Lady Bianca. Oh, so you did hear right. I trust you won't mind the unexpected company. His voice, just like his smile, turns saccharine sweet. The pointed stare he casts at the bags that are taking up the entire seat opposite you is anything but. You packed like you weren't expecting company. Why would I? I wonder. He huffs out a derisive laugh as though your response was a lie he saw through right away. He doesn't accuse you of anything, though, and he simply continues to scrutinize the package. You and the bird continue to watch him in turn. You silently, the bird not so much. Wow, did you see that? What an asshole. Roy's head pivots so abruptly that you can hear the rustle on his cloak as it stretches and rearranges itself over his shoulders. In the split second before his gaze falls on you, you snatch the bird off your shoulder and clutch him in your fist. What was that? What was what? Huffing under his breath, Roy stares down at your legs until perched on the seat in front of you. When you don't move, he rolls his eyes and steps over them. No manners, just like I heard. You feel the bird push against your palm as if he's trying to argue with Roy, but you refuse to release your hold on him just yet. Who knows what his loose beak would do if you did. All right, I suppose that's it. We can depart. Before taking a seat next to you, Roy knocks at the wall separating you from the coachman. And a few moments later, the carriage begins to move. It's not exactly proper, but he makes a deliberate pause as he turns to give your stretched legs another glare, as though with his silence, implying that you're not proper yourself, even if ultimately, that's not how he finishes the sentence. We'll be a part of the same household soon enough. Sharing a carriage will be the norm then. Wait, part of the same household? Alright, at this point you're pretty sure he isn't just Roy, but the Roy Van Varley, and that means you too are a character in that story. Can be the main character since she's never left the capital in her entire life, at least until the story ended. The same can be said about the Villainess. You could ask Roy about the date, but even if he told you, it would mean nothing to you, seeing as the novel didn't indicate a year at all. Judging by the heavy cloak you are wearing, it could just as well be early spring or late autumn. Not that the season is that much of a clue either. From Roy's brief exchange with the coachman, however, you can hazard a guess that you are supposed to be one of the Duke's soon-to-be brides. Not a bad role to be alloted, if not for the fact that all of them die. Startled back to the present, when Roy clears his throat, you blink to see him looking at you with his head tilted and one brow raised, clearly waiting a response. He looks expectant with a bit of ridicule, and it seems he's been talking to you the whole time you've been mulling over just whom the hell you're supposed to be. Unsure what to say so as not to give your inattention away, you opt for a quick, non-committal hum. Fortunately for you, Roy, who, as per his characterization, prefers talking to listening, finds your response sufficient. Don't worry, I'll make sure nothing happens to you on the way there. Thank you. Roy huffs out another of his derisive laughs. You're very welcome. I'm sure you appreciate the close scrutiny. And with that in mind, if you feel like stretching your legs... He pauses again, though this time without glancing at your legs to drive the joke home. Outside, do let know. I will accompany you everywhere. Alright, whatever you say. You don't have a say in this, pardon? I said alright. Roy blinks at you howlishly, as though thinking he must have misheard. After a moment of silence, his gaze sharpens. What exactly are you plotting? Pretending to be so affable after the fuss your father said you threw last night. I'm sorry if I'm saying like some words in the wrong way. But as I said, like in here, like some of the words are not as usual. How to put it? They are not as, I understand the meaning, but they are not usual for me to read them or say them or pronounce them. So I'm not completely certain with some of them. What are you talking about? Oh, please don't think I'm unaware of your little scheme. If you know everything, then why are you asking me? You tell me. What am I plotting? Roy lets out an affronted huff. I know you didn't agree to this union, but your father did. It goes without saying that you can kiss your old life goodbye. Damn, you knew his personality was rotten, but he's even more of an asshole up close. I'll rather kiss something else goodbye or someone. Grumbling under your breath, you send Roy a glare, but instead of his mismatching your displeasure, he sputters, body leaning as far away from you as humanly possible, given the narrow seat. Don't ever think about it. Think about what? About doing whatever it was that you were implying. I wasn't implying anything. Roy huffs out a laugh, then turns his body towards the window on his side of the carriage. A few beats of silence pass, and when you start to grow sure that he's done speaking, he decides to continue. I know your type. My type. You wouldn't be the first woman who tried to seduce me. Seduce you? Don't flatter yourself, we barely met. Though he keeps his body angled away, Roy's head twists to the side so that he can level you with an unimpressed stare. And that's all you needed, clearly. You were looking right at me when you said, "Oh, don't flatter yourself." What? What did I say again? Roy's nose wrinkles as he grimaces. Then he falls pointedly silent, leaving you to figure out his outburst to yourself. All right, let's rewind. What did I say that got his panties in a twist? Could he have meant the kissing part? You were obviously just grumbling to yourself. Besides, even if you weren't, why is he making such a fuss about that? It's not like he's a medieval Puritan. He is. It was part of his characterization in the novel, though, like everything not involving the main couple, it was only mentioned briefly. From what little information there was about him in the book, contrary to the Crown Prince, he used to be an actual fuckboy before he met Lucinda. Roy was a known target within the court. Because of his proximity to the Queen, many people wanted to gain his favor or ruin his reputation. You want neither, mostly because, well, you just got here. Alright, let's make one thing clear. You couldn't pay me to kiss you, touch you, or do anything with you. Okay, there goes like the hard ones. I think they, like, I don't think in the full game you have this. But I think like they did this in the demo, which I love it. I actually love it. Because you are just doing like the demo, especially when we are streaming the demos. It's so good because you end up not just getting into bad endings in here, you know, you kind of know in which direction you should go, and it's great. But it's a lie. Well, not exactly a lie. He couldn't pay you for all that because you'll do it for free. Smooching your favorite character wasn't exactly on your bucket list, but now that you have the chance... Not that you're going to tell him that, of course. So you weren't trying to seduce me in hopes of me aiding your escape. The thick sarcasm dripping off his voice makes it clear that this is exactly what he thinks you were trying to do, and that he won't believe whatever excuse you will try to sell. If I wanted to escape, I could do it without your help. Roy laughs, high and airy, but his gaze turns sharper, piercing right through you. I'm sure you could try, only that, as I said previously, I'm not planning on giving you a chance. Having said that, he turns his head away, effectively ending the conversation. What a frustrating guy. It's one thing to read about a finicky character like him, and another to interact with him yourself. And to think you called him your favorite character. You were clearly dehydrated and overworked. Dehydrated, I think they say dehydrated, right? The way he looks at you, all pompous and derisive, and the way he talks, all that makes you want to choke him. Belatedly, remembering the bird, you quickly open your hand to release him. Instead of flying out of your grasp, however, his body flops down on your non-open palm, belly up. Is it dead? You almost think so too before you hear the faint z's of his breath. Phew. It seems you can scratch accidental murder off the list of today's crazy events. So you don't collect dead bodies of the streets, huh? At least that rumor was false. Apparently done with admiring the unchanging landscape outside, Roy turns the entirety of his attention towards the yellow creature napping in your hand. What is this? You don't know what a bird is? Roy is rolling his eyes. I've never seen a bird look like this. Wait until you hear him speak. Looking up at Roy, who, just like you, is leaning over the bird, you notice that though his expression is neutral, there's a glimmer of genuine interest in his eyes. Do you like animals? Catching your eye, Roy cloaks himself with the haughtiness he displayed previously and raises his shoulder in a shrug. They aren't very useful, more of a hindrance, really. That's not a no. That's not a yes either. Over Roy's shoulder, you notice a subtle change in the landscape. First, it's merely a light flutter of snow, but within seconds the flurry thickens and drapes itself over the carriage like a curtain, visibly separating the green land surrounding the capital of the snowy wilderness that lies ahead. Yeah, like this game has the same thing that the other one had when we were riding the carriage, which is like you are reading and at the same time there's like movement behind, and it's like it's so awkward at the same time. You're like reading and there's like this movement going on. It's late autumn, then you're pretty sure the novel mentioned that the roads on the northern side of the capital became impassable long before true winter strikes. The snow makes it hard to see, doesn't it? Roy catches your wondering eyes and smirks knowingly, but just what it is that he knows, you are none the wiser. Are you looking for something in particular? No, I'm just admiring the view. And just so that he doesn't accuse you of seducing him or making innuendos, you turn your head away towards the window on your side of the carriage. Roy lets out a hum, but doesn't immediately call your bluff. For a long while, you ride in complete silence. From time to time, the strange bird lets out a louder snore, but other than that and the howling wind outside, nothing interrupts your peace. Alone with your thoughts, you realize that you are feeling rather calm. Your old life and everything in it were a source of constant stress, but even if the stress was removed from the equation, all that's left would be boredom. Breathing. Regardless of whether you were really transported into the novel or if it's only a fun, realistic dream, you are going to stay here for as long as possible. It's your first time traveling outside the capital, isn't it? Again, it's Roy's voice that pulls you out of your reverie. His question is conversational, but given his shrewd personality presented in the novel, he's fishing for information rather than enjoying some idle talk. When you don't answer, he seems to take it as a yes, all the same, moving on to the next question. Your engagement talk was rather abrupt, wasn't it? That it was, I suppose. As with our little Duke's choice, I admit because of that I had less time than I would like to get to know my future Duchess better. You mean ask for any rumors about me? Roy doesn't deny it. If anything, the grin he flashes you serves as a confirmation. Well, seeing as we are stuck in this carriage for who knows how long, about a week, give or take, you might as well just ask me. The sound of a loud, singular clap surrounds in the carriage, prompting you to face Roy again. Splendid, I appreciate your cooperation. Wait until you hear my terms, you might yet change your mind. The self-satisfied smile that was slowly creeping onto Roy's lips vanished, his brow quirks. Your terms? What? Did you think I would just answer all your questions for free? Roy's nose scrunches up in a grimace. Very well, only let me precede this with stating that I will not in any capacity aid in your escape, nor will I wasn't going to ask for that. Roy clicks his tongue at the interruption. Instead of chastising you, though, he decides to hear you out, motioning at you with the palm of his hand in a gesture that says, go on. I thought we should play by a question for a question. That would be fair, wouldn't it? Roy tilts his head, humming as he considers your proposal. Given that most, if not all, of the rumors I managed to purchase about you are false, seriously, instead of paying strangers for made-up facts, you could give the money to me. Roy laughs, eyes narrowing into slits. And why would you need the coin for? I assure you, the Duke might be frugal, but you will lack for nothing at his manor. It's always good to have spare funds. You will be given a monthly allowance. A monthly what? Yeah, now it's totally decided. You are not leaving this place, not even if a god comes down to take you out. Why are you grinning like that? I'm not grinning, besides you can see my face behind the fan. The fan, huh? You've been using it ever since you found yourself in the carriage, but you only now consciously register it. Maybe it's because you are used to fanning yourself with books that your new body leaned into the mannerism reflexively. So the allowance, how much are we talking? Roy laughs. It seems that the question disarms him somewhat, or he wants you to think that it does. Because for the first time since he entered the carriage, he lets himself lean more comfortably into the seat. That depends on whatever deal your father prepared for us. Oh. But Duke is generous. Too generous, one might say. You'll have plenty of coin to fulfill all your fantasies. Unless those fantasies involve purchasing cadavers. Again, with dead bodies, what kind of rumors have you been hearing? I have a list. Would you like me to run it by you? Only if the terms I set apply. Roy lets out a pained sigh, and you just know he's going to counter your offer before he even opens his mouth. Only if I can refuse to answer questions about matters I am prohibited from speaking about. That actually sounds fair. Fine, then we have a deal. We have a deal. Great. Then I'll start. Go on, surprise me. Alright then, tell me. What's your type? About the rumors about earlier. Oh my god, I so want to say it just for the fun of it. What's your type? Pardon? Well, you said you had plenty of women throw themselves at you. And you're trying to learn what makes me tick. The look he gives you is nothing like the previous affront. It's shrewd, and you realize that his previous reaction was severely exaggerated. You read the novel, you know he's a liar, but now that you interact with him face to face without the guidance from the author, you find it difficult to discern which parts of him are genuine, if any. As flattering as it is to catch the interest of a woman of your reputation, you are engaged to my master. And he and Duke have a friendly relationship that Roy wouldn't want to squander, right? It was just a friendly question. And I was just giving you a friendly answer. Now, was my answer satisfactory? Not really. Well then, try wording your question better next time. Asshole. Your turn. Roy doesn't waste even a second. Are you always this easygoing, or was the story about your lover a rumor? Do we have a lover? What lover? How dare you? How dare you say that I have a lover? I do not have anyone. I'm going to marry the Duke. Romantic past is not a thing you should ask a lady about, is it? At least you are pretty sure it's considered taboo in this setting. Not that you'll know for certain, seeing as that garbage of a novel refused to include anything that wasn't important to the development of the main characters and Crown Prince's relationship. Roy's response doesn't clue you in either, as he simply weighs your words and smirks. So you're not denying it. You can't deny it if you don't know yourself whether it's true or not. Bless the novel and bless the author for not including anything that wasn't important to the development of the main character and Crown Prince's relationship. Be that as it may, you can forget all about him. I will. Roy squints at you, more derisive than puzzled. We'll see about that. Whatever you say. My turn. You go back and forth like that for what feels like hours. You don't even notice when the sky outside darkens. Roy doesn't actually refuse to answer any of your questions. He just skillfully maneuvers himself out of them, forcing you to do the same so as not to be on the losing end. The rumors he cites about you are, for the most part, too ridiculous to take seriously. They range from silly and obliviously false, like the one where you can read minds, to those that could actually ruin one's reputation, like being a heretic witch. No, and for the last time, no. Can't we really just assume that everything you heard about me was just made up stuff? There could be something true, whether intentionally or not. How about the one where you... Now it's my turn. Tell me about all the... Whoa. The carriage wobbles so strongly and so abruptly that you almost get catapulted out of your seat. Watch out. If not for Roy's arms stretching out in front of you, you would have landed face first into the mountain of boxes. What was that? As the carriage comes to an abrupt halt, Roy pushes you back into the seat, reflexively wiping the hand that touched you into his cloak. Given your surprise, I suppose it wasn't your lover coming to hijack you. It's probably a fallen tree. Wait here, I'll be right back. Okay, thanks for playing the demo. I think this one was even shorter than the other one, but it's fine. It's fine for me because I didn't want it to be in here. Like the other one, I think it took us almost 2 hours or something. Curious on what more of these schmucks are doing. Best bet, Tumblr, and look, more links, maybe something cool. And with that all done, kid is out. Peace. So it's the kid again in here. It's just like the image that they put of him in here is very suggestive, isn't it? Yeah, we do not know what is going to happen though. So, but with this, we ended up playing the 2 demos that they have for the game. And interesting. I might actually think about actually getting to the full game. I'll see it. Okay, I'll see it. Right now, and let me tell you something. I think I already told you. Right now, my life is kind of complicated because I'm really getting things done to move abroad. So these little times that we've been having together and sharing in here, I don't know if I will be able to keep them for long, to be honest. Yes, kind of sad, I know, at least sad for me. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to take to adjust to the new ambience and how things are going to be. So we'll see it, right? But I think, at least for tomorrow, we are still good, and I hope to bring us some more games for us to play together in here. So as usual, I'm going to leave links in the description in terms of this game and the other one. This one is only available on itch.io. Yeah. And I guess we'll see each other tomorrow. Thank you very much for being there. Thank you.